Hey guys, today on Robbie's Reviews, I am in the 2021 Cadillac Escalade. I just want to thank my friend Manny, who took delivery of the Escalade earlier today from Sheehan Cadillac in Pompano Beach, Florida. And he's allowed me to take it out on the road to see what it's like to drive and show you guys all of its cool new luxury features and amazing tech. Let's go check it out. Alright guys, here she is, the 2021 Cadillac Escalade. This example is finished in crystal white tri-coat over brandy with dark atmosphere accents. So this is the 5th generation of the Escalade, and it is without a doubt the most impressive looking one yet. As far as road presence goes, there's really nothing else like it. Just looking at the front here, it is very stately, very wide, very tall. It's definitely the largest Escalade yet. This one is actually 16 inches longer than the outgoing short wheelbase. This being the ESV, the long wheelbase variant. It's actually 8 inches longer than the current short wheelbase 2021 Escalade, and the current short wheelbase Escalade is 8 inches longer than the outgoing short wheelbase one. So this thing is a monster on all accounts. And as Cadillac's brand goes, the Escalade has always been at the forefront of their luxury and technology features, has always been the flagship, and when someone says Cadillac, you automatically think Escalade. So starting with the front here, we have a completely redesigned front fascia. Instead of the old vertical headlights, the orientation has been changed. They're now horizontal with the dual LED projectors, the rectangular projectors in there, full LED units that are active. They can go up and down, go side to side. And this actually is the sport trim level with the Onyx package. So you have all the black accents, the black mesh grille, which is massive. You have the Cadillac crest, which instead of their usual gold and red colors in it, you actually have just silvers and grays. It's a very neutral color looking finish. Very, very cool, very modern. And with the sport package, you actually also have all these black grills down here. This little chin spoiler that houses the radar sensor for cruise control, as well as it looks like the night vision camera, or at least what emits the infrared for the night vision camera. Up here you have the parking sensors that wrap around all the way for the park assist system. And just under the Cadillac crest here, you have the front camera. That's part of the 360-degree camera system. Now moving up to the hood, we have a very, very unique hood design here. And if you guys can see these kind of ridges and little valleys that are in the hood, these cuts. Similar to the truck line, like the GMC luxury trucks, although this is kind of with a twist on it. They, instead of having it look like just a regular pickup truck hood, they really kind of made it its own, especially for the 2021 Escalade. It actually reminds me of the power domes that are found on Mercedes AMG vehicles or BMW M cars. And before we move on, something I want to show you guys with the front of the Escalade. So something that more car companies are starting to do, but I feel like everyone should be doing it by now. When you unlock the Escalade, similar to other vehicles, you get kind of like a light animation or the vehicle saying hello to you. And I've got the Cadillac key here. It's newly redesigned. You have the Cadillac crest there and all your buttons, nice silver trim. So if you press unlock, the DRLs actually pulse as if the vehicle was saying hello to you, and they turn on for a moment. So if you lock the vehicle, unlock it one more time and show you guys that. See, it pulses 3 times and then goes solid. It's pretty cool. And something you're going to see a lot of throughout the 2021 Escalade is this line design here. It's kind of etched into the trim here, but also in the actual part of the headlight. Follows all the way down into the actual glass or the housing here where the daytime running light is. Not sure if you can see that, but it is etched throughout the DRL. It's a very, very cool touch, and it's meant to mimic the Cadillac crest. So all the lines that are in here, it's meant to mimic that, and you can find that all throughout the new Escalade. So continuing down the side here, just like I was saying earlier, this is the ESV body style, so it's the long wheelbase. I mean, the outgoing Escalade was already a huge, beastly vehicle, but this new model takes it to a whole nother level. It is taller, wider, and longer than before. You can see part of the sport package that Manny has opted for. You get these amazing gloss black 22-inch wheels. There are several wheel designs for the new Escalade, however, this is one of my favorites. Really does this big body SUV justice. And what's pretty cool is you see the heads-up display here, right in the dashboard, but then you have a Cadillac logo that is right behind the main infotainment screen. Obviously you won't see that when you're driving, but if you're walking up to the vehicle you see it. And then up in the windshield you have the cameras for lane keep assist, cruise control, night vision, and all that. This vehicle is also available with the GM Super Cruise, kind of like autonomous cruise control that is available on all Chevrolet, GMC, and Cadillac vehicles. And continuing down the side of the Escalade, you have the mirror here, completely redesigned. Nothing on this vehicle is shared with the outgoing Escalade. It is completely new construction, all new design. And you actually have the camera right on the side of the mirror here. That's part of that 360 degrees surround view system. And of course, on the actual mirror, you have the blind spot monitor right there. Pretty cool. That lights up, obviously, when a vehicle comes into your blind spot zone. And the sensor for it is right in the taillight, kind of like in the side here, integrated. A lot of cars will announce that it has a blind spot radar or monitoring system. However, Cadillac kept it clean. And here you can see in that newly redesigned taillight, some of that line design that I was talking about earlier that is meant to mimic the Cadillac logo or the crest. You can see it's in the turn signals and reverse lights here, and also on the trim. It houses the rest of the taillight. And just like with the front where it has that little light animation, if you unlock it, the back you get the same animation. So you have those taillights, the turn signals, and it kind of scans up the taillight and then stays solid. So we'll show that one more time. Very cool. So just like with the front end, the rear of the new Escalade completely redesigned. You probably noticed it actually has real exhaust tips for once instead of the exhaust just dumping out under the bumper. And as part of the sport trim level with the Onyx package, you have this nice black rear valance here, diffuser with the black exhaust tips, as well as the black badging. It says Escalade there in nice font. And then a lot of people were asking, what does the 600 mean on the back of the new Escalade? That is actually the torque figure in Newton meters. Just a little Easter egg, something pretty cool that Cadillac is doing with all their new models. And of course you have that same kind of neutral color, monochromatic Cadillac crest back here with all the grays and silvers. And if we take the key back out, you notice there's a lot of buttons here on the key. You actually have separate buttons to open the liftgate as well as the rear glass. So 2 taps opens the liftgate. And as you can see, there is tons of cargo space after the third row. You can actually put down the third row and have even more. And I believe there's about 60% more space behind the third row than the outgoing Escalade. So to close it, you simply tap again. Now this button here on the bottom is actually for the rear glass. So you hit that twice, pops the rear glass. Opens up. And honestly, I think more SUVs should come with this feature. Sometimes you just have something you want to put in real quick. You don't want to open the whole liftgate. And you can see before, unlike the outgoing Escalade, this whole piece of the roof kind of goes up with the glass instead of the glass kind of going up inside it. You have your rear wiper housed in here. And to close the glass, simply just push down like so. And you can actually also swipe your foot underneath and the liftgate opens up. And I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but there's actually a little Cadillac crest that is projecting onto the driveway here. That is the exact spot that you're supposed to swipe your foot. So at night, if you're looking and it's dark out, that'll basically tell you where to swipe. So you swipe there and it closes up. Very, very cool. So real quick, just going to open up the back again. And you can see the swipe function is very, very sensitive. It works perfectly every time. A lot of cars kind of get confused, but that is not the case with the new Escalade. Now looking in the back here, this is nothing new or special when it comes to SUVs. You have all your controls for the seats. You can actually put down the left and the right seat, so just like so. Same goes for the passenger side. And then just like the controls I'll show you later that are up in the front, right in front of the rearview mirror, you can actually press again, just one touch, press it, seats come back up, complete full power operation. Very, very cool feature to have. Of course, you have the floor mats are still in their original protective covering. This is a brand new vehicle that we just actually picked up earlier from the dealership. Actually right here you have a 110 volt household electrical socket. You actually have these 2 buttons here. These are for the middle or second row captain's chairs. Just tap it twice and hold it. And the seats fold forward. Pretty cool. And then moving around here to the side, Actually, now before I open the door, I just want to show you guys something. So at first these look like regular door handles. However, the new Escalade has done something very interesting with the concept of the door handle. What looks like something that moves out or gets pulled out, just one more thing to break, you actually have a little sensor right behind the door, or kind of a button. You just pull it and the doors open up. And of course they are soft closed doors. And it's pretty cool at night. There's actually a little piece of illumination or ambient lighting that lights up here. You also have another Cadillac crest right there, right on this C-pillar. Now opening up the rear door, of course you have the power running boards or power side steps. That's an option. They come down and then retract once the door closes. So just like you can fold these seats down with the controls in the cargo area. Now to put the seat all the way forward so you can access the third row, pull forward just like that, and then you can get in. And with these captain's chairs, it is a breeze to get in there. And then to put it back, simply back. Seat goes forward. You have the headrest, armrest as well. And then on these captain's chairs, which are just like the front seats of this amazing quilted leather, this is the brandy over the dark atmosphere accents. Of course, you have this amazing wood here. So you have the Cadillac logo, this contrast piping, all the perforation throughout. Now the rear seats are heated. I'm not sure if cooled seats are an option in the rear. However, the fronts have heating and cooling. And of course, Manny has opted for the rear entertainment system. So you have these two massive tablet-like screens that are on the back of the seats. And Cadillac actually says that these are the largest screens ever fitted to the back of a seat for a vehicle's infotainment system in the rear, or rear entertainment system. So we're going to close the door. So there are three ways you can actually close the liftgate on the 2021 Escalade. The first way, which is on every other vehicle, you actually have a button right up here on the tailgate. The second way is you can actually just swipe your foot right above where that logo is on the ground. And the third way is just with the key, but to make it simple, just swipe our foot underneath. And the liftgate closes up, goes down very slowly. And of course you have the third brake light that is housed just under this, I guess you could call it a spoiler, rear spoiler. Now just under the Cadillac crest here, you actually have two cameras. One is part of the 360-degree camera system for parking, and the other is actually for the rear view mirror, which you may have seen in my review of the Corvette C8 Stingray, which is a very cool feature that I'll show you in a little bit once we take a step inside. And now the sun's coming out, you can see that amazing crystal white tri-coat. It's almost too bright for the camera. You can really see it here, it just looks spectacular. And of course, just like every other GM product, this vehicle does come equipped with remote start. So just press right here twice. It's a nice throaty grumble as the Escalade roars to life. It is powered by a 6.2 liter V8, naturally aspirated. I believe it produces 420 horsepower and around 460 pound-feet of torque. So real quick, I'm going to turn on the headlights and taillights of the 2021 Escalade so you guys can see those amazing LED headlights and taillights. And actually, if we take a closer look, you can actually see that kind of theme with the lines going all the way in the headlight down to the running light. It's actually etched into the DRL. I don't know if you guys can see that. But right now we're going to turn on the headlights and taillights. Another thing I love is right when you open the door, you have this lit up door sill with that same lined theme that mimics the Cadillac crest with the Escalade letters in the very nice font. And you also have the Cadillac crest here that's on these like built-in WeatherTech like floor mats. Now you have the actual real carpet floor mats in the trunk. However, these are great for if you have dirty shoes or your kids are in the car after playing all day. Really just nice attention to detail on this 2021 Escalade. See if we can do this without starting it. There we go. So you can see you have nice bright side markers. And you have your low beam here. And this is definitely the high beam and the kind of swivel up and down. And you also have the daytime running lights, which get a little bit brighter when you turn off the headlights. But going down the side, it's funny, the vehicle actually locked with the headlights and taillights on. They'll probably time out after about 15 minutes. So back here, you have the completely redesigned taillights. Now, to a lot of people that are familiar with the previous generation of Escalade, they may notice that not much has really changed, but this taillight has been heavily updated. You have all that kind of line design here again, going all the way up the taillight, all the red part all the way up to the top, all the way under the liftgate, all the way down. You also have these turn signals where if I unlock it here, there we go, nice and bright. They're amber, visible from basically 180 degrees, and you have the nice side marker there. Very, very bright. And once again, even in the turn signal, you have that same design that's going through. Great theme with this 2021 Escalade. So right now we're going to take a step inside the 2021 Cadillac Escalade. Like I was showing you guys earlier, the handles don't move. They actually just have a little button behind them. And something else I noticed is even though these door handles don't come out, you usually have a area on the door handle in most cars that have keyless entry where you can put your thumb or your finger and it'll lock the vehicle. But in this case, it is in the shape of a little Cadillac crest. Pretty cool, little attention to detail there. So if you press it, vehicle locks. If you pull the little button back here, mirror comes out. Press it again. Pretty cool. Power running boards come out. Step inside. And you have the push to start button, foot on the brake. Get a cool little animation when you start it up. And right off the bat, you notice just the amazing quality, craftsmanship, attention to detail. Like I was saying earlier, Manny has opted for the brandy over dark atmosphere accents interior. So full leather, you have this amazing contrast stitching, different shades of leather here, the brown leather, the really, really nice wood that's behind some kind of like lacquer or clear coating here, all the silver trim. You have all your heated and cool seat controls here. Nice, very nice sculpted door handle. You have your window controls, mirror controls, and everything. Two-person memory seating. And once the doors closed on the 2021 Escalade, you're immediately just taken away from the world. It is very, very quiet in here. I probably don't even need to talk as loud as I'm talking. The only thing I can hear are the cooled seats that have automatically turned on because they remembered the last time I was in the car. And also the air conditioning. We have a little rumble of the engine. I mean, it's a nice big V8, you want to hear that, but it's not intrusive. It's not annoying in any way. And you guys can see in the back there is a crazy amount of space. We're going to check out the rear entertainment system in a little bit. But for now, you can see those two optional individual captain's chairs, the third row in the back. And you can see that the attention to detail has not been forgotten on any of the back seats. That amazing diamond quilting that is in these front seats also carries all the way to the back, as well as this massive panoramic sunroof. Has a full sunshade that comes across. See, it comes all the way across. Revealing a nice, kind of like a cloth or netting for the headliner. Very nice dark brown. We'll leave the sunshade open for now. Lets a lot of natural light in here. It's a nice day out here in South Florida. Now, first we're going to start off with the crown jewel of the new Escalade, in my opinion, at least on the interior, is this 38-inch infotainment screen that is made up of 3 different screens. The first one, which I have never seen this on any other vehicle I've reviewed or ever sat in or anything. This little screen here is dedicated to trip info, changing your HUD or heads-up display settings, and also your gauge cluster. So this screen here, which is kind of like, it looks like it's glued onto this like basically massive screen here. So what's above it is not screened. It's basically just, you have a leather trimmed screen here that is basically sitting in front of the main infotainment screen, which is this central screen here. Then you have the gauge cluster and this little screen over here. But all that adds up to a whopping 38 inches of screen real estate. And of course you have this lovely redesigned steering wheel. It's a very thin rimmed steering wheel, very nice, fully leather wrapped. This is the brandy color, kind of like dark brown. You have the Cadillac crest. Really nice trim all around it. You have all your cruise control settings, voice controls, volume, radio settings. And earlier when I was talking about the like the line theme of this vehicle, to mimic the Cadillac crest or logo, we actually have this button here that has a bunch of lines on it. that's actually a blank. So because this side of the steering wheel has 3 buttons on it and they're all functional and they all do things related to the radio volume, just for symmetry, they have the blank here just to make it look uniform and even. A lot of cars have like different things going on the different sides of the steering wheel, but with the 2021 Escalade steering wheel, there is perfect symmetry. And down here you actually have all your different modes. You can actually lower the air suspension or raise it. You can change your modes. Driving modes are here, so you have Tour, Sport, Snow, Ice, Tow, and Haul. Leave it in Sport for now. And then down here you have your trailer brakes, all your different settings, electronic parking brake, settings to change the level of lighting in the cabin at night. But first we're going to start with this little screen over here. So if you press it, it's a touch screen, changes your trip info or simply turns it off. And if you press the button in the middle here, it brings up your gauge mode. So you have the big central speedometer with the tachometer down there. You have all your information, date, time, temperature, radio station. You can change all that. It's all configurable. And then if you press map, it'll actually bring up a giant navigation screen. So you can have navigation over here, and then you can have the radio information over here, or if you want it the other way around, you can do whatever you want. And something that I have only seen on newer Mercedes-Benz models, but really not to this degree, you have AR camera. If you guys can see that, AR camera. So pressing that actually brings up the front camera that is in the windshield. So when you put it in a destination, it'll actually overlay arrows and navigation information on the actual camera here, the screen. And the next one you have is night vision. Well, I don't believe you can use it during the day. Let's see. Here it says night vision system available only when it's dark, so we'll check that out later. You have your heated steering wheel, your forward collision assist or radar cruise control settings here, your headlight controls and everything over here, turn signals, windshield wiper stock, rear wiper. Moving over to the center here, you have the central infotainment screen, which is touchscreen. So it's actually very responsive, pretty cool. You have your navigation here, pinch to zoom, very, very responsive, just like any smartphone. You can go home. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, different users, Wi-Fi hotspot, vehicle information. You can change your rear climate control settings. Here's your main vehicle settings here. So you have display. You can change your heads-up display, the adjustment, the display contents. So you can have speed signs, navigation, audio, phone list. So going back, instrument cluster, same thing. You can have your layout. You can have a gauge. If you don't want to change it over here, you can actually change it here. So the same thing, gauge, AR camera, map, night vision. It gives you a description of what it's going to look like. So, and actually, it's pretty cool. That's what it'll look like when you put the AR camera on and you put navigation in. It shows all your information like speed and all that. Actually, I'll just show you here. So your speed is always up there. Your tachometer is always down here. RPM, speed limit sign, your fuel range, electronic parking brakes on, and also what mode you're in. The little racing, little red flag shows that we're in sport mode or track mode. And then if we go back, the right view, it'll just show you what it's going to display. Audio and navigation off, audio now playing, or just navigation. So going back, let's see what else we got. So let's see, I'll go to vehicle. You have teen driver mode, which a lot of cars are starting to have. Valet mode, rear seat reminder, climate, collision detection systems. So you have alert type, forward collision system, front pedestrian detection, adaptive cruise, go notifier, lane change alert, seatbelt tightening, park assist tow bar, rear cross traffic alert, rear pedestrian detection. Just a whole host of safety features that are in this new Escalade. So let's see, I keep going back, but we'll go to vehicle again. Let's see what else we've got. Lighting. Something I noticed earlier when we were taking the Escalade out of the parking garage at Sheehan Cadillac was there's a lot of ambient lighting in this vehicle. It actually runs all the way across, and we'll wait till it gets darker later so I can show you guys. However, we have the ambient lighting controls here. You can choose to just turn it off or turn it on. And you have all these colors. You can link it to the drive mode. You have green, red, orange, blue, purple, white, this like gold color. Really, really cool. And you have demo mode. Actually, the brightness all the way up. Demo mode, not really sure what that is. Can't even really touch it. Oh, here we go. Demo mode. So Just says ambient lighting provides the ability to customize the color and intensity of the interior accent lighting. And it looks like demo mode has every color in one. So we're gonna have to wait till it gets dark to show you guys that. But that's something cool that I have never seen any car do. So you can put on just red, orange, green, blue, purple, and then demo mode, which is crazy. It's like, I guess basically a rainbow. I wonder if it stays solid like that. It's pretty cool. Like party mode, I guess. But anyway, getting out of that, this is actually an all-new infotainment system for GM, and I'm assuming that other Cadillac models will follow, maybe even GMCs and Chevrolets, not sure. But there are a total of 5 screens up here in the front of the 2021 Escalade. You have screen number 1, screen number 2, screen number 3. Screen number 4 is for all the AC controls. So just adjust your temperature. And I love that there's a mix of physical buttons and an actual screen with very crisp and clear graphics. You have your circulation, sync, all your different zones. And this is a 2-zone front, and it's also a 2-zone rear, I believe. And the 5th screen, if you've seen my 2020 C8 Corvette review, you'll remember this feature. So this looks like a regular mirror, right? But this old school kind of flipping switch here that would be used for basically at night, so cars don't blind you with their high beams. You flip it, and you have a screen. So just like in the new Corvette, I mean, this feature has been around in GM vehicles for years. They've just been perfecting it every year. So you basically have a camera that is under the tailgate. It's one of the 2 cameras that I pointed out earlier. And you can adjust it. You can actually change the brightness, turn it up or down. You can zoom out or zoom in. And you can even tilt it. You can tilt it up or down. Pretty cool. And it is weird to get used to at first, if I'm honest. So you have the regular mirror there, and it's very dark. You have all the seats and everything that's behind you. And if you want to get rid of all those obstructions, you simply flip this switch, and you have a screen. It's very, very high definition, crystal clear. Honestly, after driving the new Corvette around for a couple hours, I quickly got used to it. And it's honestly even more nice to have in the Escalade because there's a lot of stuff back there. You're not just in a small 2-seater car. So if you want to get away from all the distractions and simply just look out, you have the camera there, which is just an amazing feature. And continuing up here, you have a lot of different controls. So you have your buttons for your home link, for your garage opener. You have all your different dome lighting, everything's LED. You have all the controls for the panoramic roof. So you have the sunshade. You can tilt or slide the actual sunroof here. So you can open that, just the front portion. And then up here you have your controls for your power liftgate. So this little knob here, you can adjust the way that or how much it goes up or down. And earlier when I was showing you guys the seat controls for the 3rd row, right here you actually have a one-touch power release for the 3rd row seats, and you can actually bring them back up. So pressing this button, see the 3rd row there, see it folds down. You can do the same thing with the passenger side. Very cool. And now you have way more cargo space than you had before. But when you're going to have passengers and you're bringing the whole family along and you want to put the seats back up without having to go all the way back, you just want to sit in the driver's seat, press the button again, the seats go up. Same goes for the driver's side. All one-touch operation, how every luxury SUV should be. No hassle, no annoyances or anything like that. And moving down here to the center stack, you have a very, very modern looking electronic shifter. Pretty cool. Just park, reverse, neutral, drive, low gear. Very, very simple. You have auto hold for the brakes, auto start stop, and your lane keep assist. You can turn that off. And then down here you have all your controls for media, navigation, all your like hotkeys. So you have navigation, vehicle information, phone, radio, and you have your home, hazard lights. And then behind this massive door here, you actually have 2 really sizable cup holders, USB-C and USB ports, a little storage area. And what's really cool is this vehicle does have a wireless charging pad, just like pretty much every luxury vehicle on the market. However, this vehicle has a phone charging like slot or pouch, and I'll show you guys. I'll take my phone out. This is an iPhone 11 Pro Max. So stick it in there like so. You guys can see it's charging now. So, I mean, God forbid you're in an accident or you have to stop short, your phone's not going to go flying, break stuff, or break the screen or anything like that. It's in there nice and snug, it's not coming out, and it's charging. And moving on to the center console, for one, you have this very, very cool kind of etching here, that line theme I was talking about earlier, the etching there, with the lines going through it. It says Escalade, that same piping, very, very premium feeling interior. And then if you open it up, you have even more storage, and you have a USB-C that turns off the wireless charger. So you're pressing it again, turns on the charger. You have a cigarette lighter there, more storage. You take it out, it reveals just a big, basically biggest center console I've ever seen, unless you're talking new F-250 or something like that, where the whole central tunnel here is the center console. But very, very big, very nice. You have an LED there. Closes up. Alright guys, now we're going to hop out and step into the back of the 2021 Escalade. See those power running boards coming out? See that amazing crystal white paint in the sun. It's almost too bright. Alright, the power running board's coming out again. Alright, let's move the seat back here. Just pull back on the seat, slide it back. Alright, now I have the seat all the way back, and even then I have plenty of room to be comfortable. I have this massive screen in front of me. You just press on that, turn it off, and you double tap the screen to turn it on. You have your navigation. And what's pretty cool is if you search for an address, let's see, we search for food, do a deli, go to this place, you can actually send it to the front. And you can choose to either accept or ignore the address received from the rear seat. So if you accept it, it'll actually set it there, and then you can put in your augmented reality infotainment there on the in the center of the screen. Or if they reject it, it'll just go back here. And it's really, really cool. So you can go back home, do all your various settings, video, voiceover, Bluetooth headphone setup, screen brightness, a bunch of different settings. Video autoplay, and the same goes for this screen here. And I really do love these captain's chairs. I mean, they come with a nice armrest. You see, fully leather wrapped, and something you don't see very often in these even luxury SUVs is this whole back piece here is wrapped in leather. Instead of some crude plastic finish or really ugly looking plastic, we have a nice leather wrapped here, and it's contrasted with this leather here, this lighter tan leather or brandy. And you have rear heated seats. Your actually it's one zone back here, but you have that same kind of nice digital screen with the temperature, auto, fan speed. Pretty cool. And you have two giant cup holders. You have some more USB-C and USB charging ports down there. Nice storage in the back of the front seats here. And of course, that giant panoramic roof. You have more LED lighting up here. Pretty cool. Rear AC vents up in the ceiling. Dry cleaning hooks. There's no shortage of those back here. And this doesn't have the premium audio system that has like 30 something speakers in it, but honestly I think that's overkill. And I read that a lot of people that reviewed the Escalade early on, like journalists and stuff, they found themselves actually turning off some of the speakers. But something that is standard with this 8KG sound system, if you look, there are speakers in the actual headrest of the seat. How crazy is that? So, not sure what that sounds like. We'll try it out in a little bit. But yeah, honestly, the back of the new Escalade is just as nice as in the front. You have plenty of screen real estate back here. It'll keep kids or friends, or doesn't matter what their age is, it'll keep them entertained for hours back here. And you have probably the roomiest third row that I've ever seen in any SUV. I mean, it makes sense because this is an absolute school bus. I mean, it's huge. You have nothing really crazy back there. There's some charging ports. So you have cup holders, some storage. But As far as creature comforts and technology and luxury amenities goes, there's nothing much back there. It's pretty simple. They figure not many people are going to be sitting back there, if ever. But the second row, these captain's chairs are awesome. Obviously, the front row here, the driver's seat especially, is really the place to be. So right now, we're going to hop back into the driver's seat and take the new Escalade out on the road and see what it's like to drive. And now that it's a little darker out, you guys can see some of that amazing ambient lighting. But I also want to show you the camera system. So simply by just putting it in reverse, you have your 360-degree camera. You have normal, wide, overhead, which is pretty cool. You have side. You can actually see the that's the back wheels. But if you put it into drive, it shows the front wheels. You can see them turning, as well as the active guidance lines there. Put it back to wide, have the guidance lines, as well as a very crisp top-down view of the Escalade. Back to normal mode, there's overhead. Again, active guidance lines. You can exit out just by hitting the X there, putting it in park. And something pretty cool, I just noticed that instead of an actual lock, you have a light. That's actually pretty cool. And also, now that it's dark out, you can see the night vision. So if I press night vision there, the little night vision camera comes up. And it actually will highlight people and animals and stuff in the road. So while the vehicle can also stop itself, it can also warn you that there are people in front of you or animals that are about to jump in front of the vehicle. Very cool feature. So at night, you have the giant Cadillac crest that projects out of the mirror. And you have what's basically underglow. I've never seen any car come with this before. And that's that ambient lighting I was talking about on the door handles. Pretty cool. You can see the crest projects right out of the mirror. And I wonder if there's a way to drive with the underglow on. That'd be pretty cool. Or change the colors of it. All right, so right now I'm driving the 2021 Cadillac Escalade ESV, otherwise known as the long wheelbase. Now, this is a long wheelbase version of a already very, very large vehicle. And if I'm honest, this is right now the largest vehicle that I've ever driven, with the exception of Hummer H1s. But yeah, so right now, although it does feel like I'm driving a school bus, everything is easy to get to, easy to see. There really aren't any blind spots that I can speak of. It is a massive vehicle. I don't know how many times I've already said that over the course of this review. But, I mean, when you're in this thing, you just see over everything. It's like you're driving a building on wheels or an apartment on wheels. I mean, just coming up to a stoplight here, the brakes work well. The air suspension feels very smooth as it rolls over any imperfections in the road. Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now, I mean, I've got the brake hold on, auto hold, so the vehicle's holding itself. I have that amazing digital rearview mirror, and got the cooled seats on. And right now, life is good. Driving the new Escalade, not something I expected to be doing today. Really just drives like a dream. It's not a sports car. It's not even a sporty SUV, although it does have a track mode. Honestly, right now, I'm just cruising, doing the speed limit. You have the speed limit that actually shows up on the gauge cluster and the heads-up display. And got the blind spot monitoring going. Got my 38 inches of screen. And just very, very quiet, serene, relaxing in here. And as far as luxury amenities and creature comforts, there's really nothing more I could want. And honestly, just a joy to drive right now. So right now I'm sitting in some stop and go traffic. Honestly, don't have a complaint in the world. It's funny, the hood of the Escalade goes above the roofs of most cars that are in front of me. I mean, there's a pretty good sized SUV a couple cars up, and the new Escalade just makes it look like a little toy. It's hilarious how big this thing is. I mean, big doesn't equate to being intimidating to drive. Like I was saying earlier, it's very easy to drive, easy to see. This rearview mirror is amazing. I mean, the image I'm getting of the vehicles behind me is crystal clear. Honestly, no complaints. The infotainment's very easy to use. Right now, I'm going to switch to the augmented reality navigation. There we go. AR camera. So now it's using the front camera. It's a very, very high definition display. It is using that. Don't have any navigation or destination put in, but it's just amazing to look at how crisp the image is. You can almost drive looking through the screen and not out the windshield. I know that's not advisable, but it's just amazing how far technology has come. And right now it feels like I'm in the future, like I'm living it. And if we go to map, you have that huge navigation screen that pops up, the map, and it still shows all your driving assists in real time, the lane keep assist. It'll show if it's able to read the lane markings. Shows your speed at the top, the tachometer. If you want to go back to the gauges, you just click gauge. Got the heads-up display displaying my real-time speed, the speed limit information. Auto start stop is on. I'll turn that off. I probably hate that feature more than anything else in any car. I always turn it off. And any vehicle that has it so it remembers that you want it off is a godsend. The new Escalade doesn't have that, however, but just a small gripe. So right now we're going to put it into sport mode. There's a tour mode, which is basically like comfort mode. Then there's snow and ice, wet weather mode. Keep in mind, this is not a sports car, but it does have a V8. So right now we're going to do a little pull. So it's not winning any awards for performance or speed or acceleration. It's certainly not a Trackhawk or an AMG SUV or anything like that. But it does have a V8. It is over 400 horsepower. It's very smooth. This has the 10-speed automatic transmission torque converter that GM and Ford actually co-developed. This transmission can be found in the Ford Raptor, the GT500, the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1, and now it's found its way into the 2021 Escalade. So right now I'm just on a back road here, enjoying driving the new Escalade. It really is very relaxing. It's luxurious. You feel like you have superiority over everybody else on the road. I mean, the road presence of this thing earlier, when I was following Manny back to his house, this thing just looks like nothing else on the road. You can tell that it's an Escalade. It's not that it doesn't look like an Escalade anymore. However, what Cadillac has done with the design of this new Escalade is really remarkable. It still has all the presence in the world. It still looks like a Cadillac, but it's just honestly the redesign that we've been waiting for years. And not that I didn't like the design of the previous generation Escalade, but it was really just a little bit tired. The front turn signals were incandescent, which is not something that I would want in a $100,000+ luxury SUV. The infotainment system was horrible. There were all these capacitive touch buttons that just got fingerprints everywhere. That's not the case with this new Escalade at all. It really is amazing. I mean, right now I'm in a roundabout, and honestly, the electric power steering is incredible. There's ample feedback for, you know, being a large luxury SUV. You don't need to feel everything in the road. That's not the point. You don't spend over $100,000 on an SUV to feel everything. The air suspension, even in the sport mode, I don't know if it actually stiffens or not. It probably does. I know that it lowers when you're driving, and it's an adaptive suspension, and this thing just rides unbelievably nice. I'm honestly very impressed with what Cadillac has done with the new Escalade. Right now I've got my digital gauge cluster on, and what's pretty cool is the graphics are very crisp. You can see your radio information, the mode you're in, as well as your fuel and the date and time and everything. But with the speed, it only highlights up to what speed you're on. So right now I'm doing about 29, 30 miles an hour. It only highlights just up to 29 miles an hour. So a very cool touch. Steering wheel feels great. The leather feels premium. All the materials in this car feel premium, high quality, and like you just paid over $100,000. And a lot of vehicles these days you get in and it's hard to believe that they're six figures, and it's hard to believe anybody would pay six figures for them. But this new Escalade is really impressive, and I don't know how many times I can say I'm impressed by it. It shouldn't have to prove itself to anybody. The Escalade has been around since the late 90s. It's always been the flagship Cadillac. When you think Cadillac, you think the Escalade. And this new Escalade definitely lives up to its name. It outshines the previous generation, honestly, a lot. I mean, just looking around, the interior of the cabin of this new Escalade is second to none. The quality, the craftsmanship. This being the sport trim level, you get a lot of the different black accents and stuff throughout. It also has the Onyx package, which gives you even more colored accenting and different pieces of trim. This interior is the brandy over dark atmosphere accents, and just the wood accenting, all the different leathers, the piping, and the contrast stitching is amazing. I mean, I feel like I'm in a luxury vehicle right now. And don't know how many times I can say it, but Cadillac absolutely knocked it out of the park with this 2021 Escalade. Alright guys, well that should do it for this review of the 2021 Cadillac Escalade. Once again, I just want to thank my friend Manny, who's allowed me to take his new Escalade out today to see what it's like to drive, and to show you guys all of its cool and amazing features. See you next time.